Fresh from the Fresh and Fit podcast just got exposed by an IG chick who he got pregnant, and he's trying to convince her to get rid of it. He leaked text messages, private audio conversations.
I want to keep the baby.
Okay, well, like I said, I just don't want any kids.
She got Fresh looking bad, but there are a lot of problem areas, if not outright lies, on her part that no one else is going to talk about but me. Let's start from the beginning. She hit him with the classic at-home pregnancy test picture. She told him that you always told me you wanted me to be your baby's mother. I love you, and I did everything to be a good girlfriend. Now this is happening, and you walked away. She's talking about how he walked away before he found out, or she told him that she was pregnant. This was something that she did after the fact, and we're going to get into that. He said, I'll call shortly. You can see right there that he did actually call, and she actually released the audio of that conversation, and we're going to play that in a second. Then she sent him the results to an actual pregnancy test that was performed by the doctor. Now, pay attention to the date of this particular test. It was on April 1st, and also pay attention to the 3 to 4 weeks that you see there at the bottom, 3 to 4 weeks that she's been pregnant. It's going to mess up a timeline, so stay tuned. This is going to get interesting. This is the part where they're negotiating. Then she hit him with the man up, and I have an issue with that because morality and legality aside, he's allowed to just put in his vote for her keeping it or not keeping it. She obviously has veto power over his vote, but he's allowed to put in his vote. This is the negotiation phase. Morality aside, the man up does not come into play until after she keeps it and he gets a DNA test. And that's going to be very important given what I'm about to unfold later on. Stay tuned. But anyway, let's get to the good part where her timeline and chronology does not add up. And then we're going to get to the audio. All right. Very important. She says, I met him on November 21st in Miami and I fell in love with him. I left Miami on January 8th and traveled back to China for the Chinese New Year. And we had a long distance relationship for 2 months until I traveled to Barbados to meet his entire family. He made everything so real that he is serious with me. Therefore, I'm not on birth control. And we had sexual behavior without protection. Now, let me get this right. This man who you were around from November 21st all the way to January 8th, that's a whopping 47 days that you had actually been around this man in person. And that was enough for you to get off of birth control. No matter how you slice it, that is poor pussy management. But that's not the worst part, because get this. She says, I was ready to have a baby with him and build a family. He asked me many times, well, what if you get pregnant? My answer towards him was always, yes, I want to keep the baby. I don't mind have a baby with you. So she was gone for 2 months and then she came back. And after a couple days of being back, she's talking baby, 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 baby. Sending him cute pictures of what Black and Asian kids look like. She was doing this long before she ever confirmed that she was pregnant or had legitimate reason to believe that she was pregnant. She just started out with this right after she got back from China. But it gets worse. It says after a few days, he asked me to move out. He likely had her living in one of his houses. He owns, quite a few properties. So he had her living in one of the properties that he didn't have a tenant in. So after a few days, he asked her to move out. Again, this was before he found out that she was pregnant. It says he stopped coming home. He disappeared for 3 nights without explanation. I called him. He never answered when I did nothing wrong. So I moved out and booked the first flight to New York. And on March 30th, I had a pregnancy test. Now that shaky timeline comes into play. When she said she went to Barbados to meet his family, and that's when it all felt so real and he was being so serious, and then she got off of the birth control, that would have been sometime between the 9th, 10th, and 11th, where she started feeling all the feel goods on the insides and got off of birth control. We know that because she said they made it back to Miami on the 12th, and Fresh was missing from the Fresh and Fit podcast during the 9th, 10th, and 11th. Myron was doing it by himself. Now, some would argue that Myron has been doing it by himself since 2020, but that's a separate debate. We're not here for that. Nevertheless, they returned to Miami on the 12th. So let's get the math right. From the 12th to the 30th, we're talking 7, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 days of you being fully back in his presence and off birth control, and you now know that you're pregnant. And even if we go by the results from the actual pregnancy test with the doctor that she got on April 1st, of which it takes 3 to 4 weeks to actually confirm that you're pregnant from one of those type of tests. If we start for counting from the 12th, we are legitimately counting 7, 14, 20 days. So even on the low end of the 3 to 4 weeks that you would have to be pregnant to confirm pregnancy, it's still coming up a day short on that. Birth control, when you get off of that, your hormones don't just snap back into place. No, it takes 2 to 6 months for somebody to be able to eventually get pregnant again once they get off of birth control. So in order for this timeline to have to add up exactly right, she would have had to be on one of the do-it-yourself, put it in and pull it out yourself diaphragms. She would have had to pull it out on the 11th or the 12th. She would have had to been ovulating then. He would have had to been Steph Curry with the shot at that moment, just for them to fall, just not even making the 3 to 4 weeks timeline for her to be pregnant. That coupled with the fact that she was gone for 2 whole months and then came back talking about baby, 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 I want to have your baby. It sounded like she came back pregnant. It sounded like she got pregnant when she was in China. But Fresh was gassing her up, telling her that he loved her and wanted to meet the family, and he's rich. And so she figured, hey, he's probably make a better dad than the person that actually got her pregnant. But I digress. Here's the audio.
All right.
I want the baby because I don't want to kill the baby. I don't want to kill nobody. I don't want to.
You're not. They just give you a pill and it's over.
No. I'm pregnant.
No, but that's what I'm saying. The pill, they just give it to you from a doctor and then you're good.
I am pregnant. I can't pretending like nothing happened. I can't. In my religion, we don't kill.
You're not killing. Okay.
I want to keep the baby.
Okay. Well, like I said, I just don't want any kids. You know?
Okay, so what you gonna do? And what you gonna do to me?
Nothing. Well, why did I do anything to you?
Nothing?
Why did I do anything to you?
No, I know. So like, how are you gonna deal with this? By saying I don't want a baby? That's all?
I mean, if you go to the doctor, I guess.
To the doctor. So you want abortion?
I mean, yeah. Why do you want a kid now?
And why do you make me pregnant now?
That's what I'm like, there's no way that's true. But then it's like, oh, wow. Like,
So just think about it. It's meant to be. God
sorry?
wants you to have the baby.
Definitely not.
It is. God wants you to have a baby. 7 years never happened. And then you're fucking me for a month and I'm pregnant. What does that mean?
Well,
now I just think about it, if you force me to kill the baby, then you're a sin.
Well, we already sinned by having sex. But it's too late now, you know? But honestly, if that was the case, then my ex-wife would have the baby. You know? I'm just saying, look, I get it, but we're not together. You want to get a baby. I don't want a baby.